Hey everyone, it's Alex and welcome to the Marvel Snap Decks of the Week, the weekly series where I showcase the top 10 best decks in Marvel Snap. And if you'd like to support this content, be sure to hit that like button. It's free and it helps tremendously with the algorithm. And a shout out to Rocket Money for sponsoring this edition of the Decks of the Week, and we'll talk more about them later. First up, we got a bonus deck. So we got 11 decks this week. We got a bonus deck featuring Captain Carter. If you're trying to get that weekend mission out of the way, we do have Captain Carter here, which is going to currently be the best version of it. Super Scroll still playable considering the weekend mission situation here. This is currently the top edition of Captain Carter, which is funny because the 2099 version is actually dipped ever so slightly under this. And so as a result, we do have this here, which I personally do enjoy playing. I do like the Mr. Fantastic Moonstone combination. It's just a little bit of cope, but I do enjoy it nonetheless. So if you're looking to get some Captain Carter gameplay, this is what we got. Now, if you're looking for a Kohori, we do have a Kohori deck that actually makes the top 10 this week, which is great. It's actually a really, really good cook, so I'm excited to show you that. This is going to be the bonus deck. Let's talk deck number 10 as we get into the top 10. It is going to start with Clog, running a 56% win rate at a 0.32 cube rate. This is post-infinite stats, by the way. That is something worth noting. Now, Clog has had a couple different iterations over the last little while. This one is including the Enchantress, given what the meta conditions are, and I think that this deck is actually pretty prudent, given that the weekend missions are going to have a lot of people playing ongoing synergies, like we just talked about in the Captain Carter shell. And so if you play a deck like this with Clog, you might literally prevent them from playing anything in a given location, and then Enchantress just solo wins it and shuts down their entire game plan, whether that is mid into the Mr. Fantastic Moonstone combo or to Captain Carter herself. So I do think that Enchantress has a big role to play in the current meta. In fact, there's another deck which is doing well because it saw some significant buffs, but is primarily doing well because of the addition of Enchantress in the current meta. And if that changes coming into the next month, well, then I'm sure then Clog will have a different iteration of what that might look like. But Clog coming in at number 10. Now, I know that there's cards in Marvel Snap that can be annoying, but nothing compares to how annoying managing subscriptions can be. Thankfully, that's why Rocket Money exists. Listen, we all do it. We all subscribe to a bunch of different services that ding us for a couple bucks here, a couple bucks there. Actually, who am I kidding? With inflation, it's usually more than a couple bucks. And what's worse is that we sometimes even forget to cancel these subscriptions when we're not even using them anymore. Once you connect Rocket Money to your bank account, it will visually track all of your recurring subscriptions into one feed, allowing you to identify what you're paying for and where you can save money. From there, you can select the ones you don't even want, and Rocket Money may even be able to help you cancel them, all with just a few taps. It saves you a ton of time. Oh, and they can even help you negotiate your bills lower. There's a chance that you're paying too much for internet or whatever, and Rocket Money can help you bring those monthly bills down, keeping more of your hard-earned money in your pocket. Rocket Money can also create a customized budget in seconds, allowing you to know where your money's going at all times, and helps to identify top spending categories to help you stay within your budget better. If you'd like to add to the over $500 million of canceled subscriptions that Rocket Money has processed, you can get started for free at rocketmoney.com/Alexander Coccia, or simply use the link in the description down below. Coming in at number 9, we do have Toxic Evolved, running a 56% win rate at a 0.40 cube rate. This is the high evolutionary version of the Toxic archetype, which ironically is running high evo for the purposes of getting that free Abomination play. I was trying to cook with this, running like a Moon Girl in it. It didn't quite perform as well as I was hoping, but with Laufey making this deck as well, you do have some use for that Series 4 card you might have pulled from the prior event there, the Sanctum Showdown, as they like to say. Rocket and Groot still makes this deck despite the nerf, and Grandmaster is also still in it, which is, a great touch for something like the Laufey, and obviously, the Ajax loves for more things to get hit. So ultimately, Toxic continues to be a good shell. We actually have another Toxic version to talk about later on in the top 10. But if you're looking for the evolved version, this is going to be exactly that. Going into number 8, we do have Loki Control. We actually have a couple Loki decks here, which is actually kind of exciting. Loki Control, a 57% win rate and a 0.36 cube rate. This here has the Loki and Zabu turn 1. Both exceptionally strong turn 1 plays. And then you have a whole bunch of tech. The Gorgon does really well, specifically against like the even like the Swarm and the Dawkins Shard kind of gameplay. It really messes up the Bullseye play quite a bit. You also have the fantastic 2-drops of Iron Patriot, Captain America Sam Wilson. Of course, Rocket Groot still makes this deck. Anytime you see Iron Patriot, Rocket Groot is still kind of making those lists. Juggernaut also shores up the Iron Patriot play, and Copycat, especially in this ongoing meta, especially during the weekend missions, tends to get a lot of value because it has a chance to hit something like an Iron Man or whatever. And then, of course, you have the Enchantress that can definitely shut down those ongoing plays that you'll see over the course of this weekend. And then, if you're playing Zabu, you're going to be running very good 4-drops, and essentially you're running the best 4-drops in the likes of Shang-Chi, Galacta, Gwenpool, and Enchantress, which is the pure meta call. And so this deck here does a really good job of controlling the playstyles of your opponent. You have answers for pretty much everything, a lot of tech, a lot of value. So this is a good one. I really like this deck a lot, and if you do pull the Loki on turn 1, then you're just playing some Loki. So I really like the way this deck plays. It is a lot of fun, and you know, that's going to be one of the options you can do if you want to kind of climb in the meta. And if you want some more Loki, the Loki that I've been preferring has actually been the Thanos version of Loki. This here being a little similar, but this does have the Wiccan so instead of some of the other tech pieces you saw in the other one, you're all running only Wiccan, and Shang-Chi has 4-drops. But with the Wiccan, you are running the Thanos, so you can use those stones to essentially curve out appropriately to get that Wiccan play active. I like this deck a lot because it does feature, again, very good cards. You do have the Mobius and Mobius, which is a pretty good meta call right now as well. Alioth, which tends to be very disruptive to your opponent. And Mockingbird, especially with the Sam Wilson shield on there, feels like free real estate half the time. It's good to see Red Hulk making a deck as well. Obviously, it makes the Clog deck because they're unable to play and they're constantly floating energy. But in non-Clog decks, it's cool to see just straight up 6/10 value and obviously ticking upwards, kind of make itself back into the game. This has been one of the versions of the deck that I've really been enjoying. I've kind of finding myself loving Loki again. I actually, with Kahori, I cooked a Loki-based version of the deck. I'll just show you that quickly. This one here was actually a super fun deck that I had a lot of fun with, and I've been playing it quite a bit. Crystal's pure cope. I'm going to cut Crystal eventually, but I've been still playing it recently just because I'm just curious, right? I want to just see. And my thought about Crystal, by the way, is obviously you're adding power for the Kahori play. Also, if you play Loki and Crystals in hand, you're drawing into the discounted Loki cards. And so I felt like if you're going to play Crystal, maybe now's the time. Still cope, I agree. But anyways, I just wanted to show you that there. But overall, you know, I think Loki's kind of making a bit of a comeback here, and it's the magic of being a 1/2. Like, being played on turn 1 completely changes the scope of what that card is. And so it's good to see it, man. I love Loki, and I'm happy it's making a bit of a comeback. As I alluded to prior, we do have another deck that is just great right now, and a big reason why is because it's a cube stealer at 59% win rate and a 0.42 cube rate, and it is going to be Sauron. Sauron. I always say it wrong, I think. I'm pretty sure it's Sauron. Got to break the habit, I guess. But with the Enchantress making this list, honestly, it's just free real estate. Enchantress works so naturally in this shell, and given the meta conditions that we're in, you tend to just feast. Moreover, although the control versions of a lot of decks are running Shang-Chi, a lot of people are cutting Shang-Chi to play these very greedy-oriented decks, and obviously the ongoing cards, the ongoing decks, I should say, don't run Shang-Chi at all. So if you see ongoing plays to try to get these weekend missions done, you're not going to see Shang-Chi in those decks unless they're really cooking, right? So Sauron feels like it's in a great... I did it again, I just said it wrong again. But Sauron feels like it's in a great spot right now. And actually, over the last little bit, whenever I'm playing just Marvel Snap, just to kind of, whatever. I've been playing the Loki Thanos Kahori deck that I cooked, and then I've been playing the Sauron shell. And there's nothing fancy about this, right? You have Ares and Starbrand that were added to the shell, and obviously the big change was Sauron being changed from a 3 to a 2, and as a result, the curve is just beautiful. It's just beautiful. And so this is a very good deck that you can turn to. Sauron is legit meta. I said it wrong again. Sauron. Oh my gosh. I don't even remember what I'm saying. I'm moving on because I can't keep mispronouncing this card's name over and over again. You guys are going to think I'm doing it on purpose, but I promise you I'm not. We go to Kahori Thanos. This is a fantastic shell. This is actually, I know I showed you my cope version. This is statistically the best version of Kahori Thanos. 59% win rate, 0.53 cube rate. It's phenomenal, right? So if you want to play this one for sure. But it is running the Ant-Man. Goliath's a great call considering how many of the stones for Thanos are ongoing abilities. You have the Captain America Sam Shield. Captain America Sam Wilson's shield out there providing Goliath with some extra power as well. Dazzler, you got the Tech of the Cosmo. You got the Blue Marvel, and yes. I've joked about it in the past about how I've been really restricting my spending on Marvel Snap. I couldn't help myself with those damn Gundams. They got me, man. They got me. I'll be willing to admit I overspent on those damn variants. You can chirp me as hard as you want, but I've barely put any money into the game in a while. And with the snap packs coming, I was like, you know what? They're trying. They're giving her a shot. Here's your here's your way too much money in Canadian dollars for you. So there you go. And obviously, if you're going to be playing Thanos, Mockingbird tends to be a good choice here as well. Speed making this deck too, which I love to see. And obviously, this has Kohori in it. It's kind of interesting because Kohori is probably replaceable with a more reasonable, I don't know, ongoing card in a shell like this, but still putting up power. And whenever you're playing Thanos stones and like you're really keeping your hand full, Kohori tends to be pretty good. In my experience, in my other deck, which again, I'll just show quickly, the deck that I was playing with, the Devil Dinosaur was solid. Like, Devil Dinosaur was often a very high power play because of the size of your hand playing Thanos. And so I wonder if this deck here could eventually, that's not it, this deck here could eventually incorporate Devil Dinosaur in it, because honestly it was just pure real estate. I thought it was great. So if you're missing a piece, like if you're missing speed or whatever, put a Devil Dinosaur in. You even have Cosmo that can prevent it from getting Shongers, right? So that's probably a good choice overall, I think. Anyways, really liking what Thanos is bringing to the table right now in Marvel Snap. Coming in at a 60% win rate, the 0.45 cube rate, we do have Toxic Ajax. I did mention that there was going to be another Toxic deck. The other one was the Evo version. This is going to be the straight up Toxic Ajax version, and this is, in my opinion, the preferred one to play. I do like the addition of course, you have the Anti-Venom in here, but it's Diamondback that just is so good. I feel like Diamondback is probably one of the best cards in Snap that no one's talking about right now, just because these archetypes don't actually see a lot of play, which is wild to me. Diamondback is so good. It is so good. It's a straight up lane winner. Every time I play this deck, I'm like, I win with Ajax turn 5, and then I just demolish Cheeks with Diamondback and Cager or whatever I want to do on turn 6. Malekith continues to be one of my favorite cards in the game. I just love it. It's just a little bit RNG centric, and there's kind of some bad hits, like Scorpion kind of feels bad, Zabu feels bad, but U.S. Agent, great hit for the most part, as long as you play your own Cager. And then you have the Hazmat, which is phenomenal. Hazmat Malekith is like a snap condition borderline, right? So anyways, really do like Toxic Ajax. And again, I just want to say how much I love Diamondback specifically. This is an unsung card. And hopefully with the snap packs come out, more people get their hands on it, especially if you like playing the Toxic Shell, because Diamondback kicks ass. So I do like it a lot. Going to number 3 here, we're in the top 3, and it's Uncle Scream. I saw this deck, and it has a pretty low sample size, but like, it's an Uncle Ben deck, and I was like, hell yeah, I got to show it on the decks of the week, especially considering it's running a 62% win rate right now at 8.53 Q rate. These are post-infinite stats, but again, a very small sample size relative to the others. It's running the Lady Deathstrike, which I like. It's running the Scream package overall. It gets rid of the Iron Patriot that we saw. Actually, this deck didn't run Iron Patriot before. It's whatever. You still have very good 2-drops in Scream, Kraven, and Captain America. No, actually, now that I think about it, these decks did run Iron Patriot for a bit. I'm like correcting my correction, because you still have Rocket and Groot in this shell, and I do know that Rocket and Groot was this layover from having the Iron Patriot in there. So looking at this deck, I do like it a lot, and one of the fascinating things about it is the addition of the Killmonger, which honestly, no one's going to anticipate. Killmonger will not be an anticipated play. You also have the tech of Shang-Chi here, which is great. And obviously, Lady Deathstrike feasts. It absolutely feasts. We're not seeing a lot of Khonshu Dracula or even a lot of Dracula right now, but we are seeing a lot of cards that do like to feast. And Lady Deathstrike is one of those cards that will definitely do that. But anyways, I was really excited to show you this Uncle Scream version of the Scream archetype. And I mean, listen, Uncle Ben. I know people will be like, yo, Uncle Ben sucks so bad. I can't believe he's in the top 3. I know too. I was surprised to see it. But when I saw Uncle Ben, I know we had to talk about it a little bit here. And I'm pretty sure Regis tried to come up with something with Uncle Ben and Scream. I don't think it was this exact shell, but I know that Regis was trying to cook with Uncle Ben and Scream when Uncle Ben first came out. So anyways, it's good to see that card seeing a little bit of play here and a little bit of a solid deck archetype itself. And to the surprise of absolutely nobody, you still have the Bullseye archetype coming in at number 2, 64% win rate, 0.76 Q rate, which is absolutely remarkably high. And it's MODOK's nerf feeling inconsequential here. Going from a 5.8 to a 5.7 is certainly felt, but when you have Bullseyes and Dawkins and Pew Pews happening all over the place, like, it doesn't feel like it matters all that much. It's also worth noting that a lot of people are teching against this deck specifically in high MMR. That's why you're seeing the likes of the Gorgons and obviously the Mobius and Mobiuses to prevent the Swarms from being discounted. So really interesting deck overall, and I say that because I made it and I love it, and this is a beautiful list. This is actually the Zola version. I did not actually create the Zola shell. The Zola shell was evolution of my original design. But the Zola shell does work really nice too, because in the event that you do have your Dakin sitting by itself, which is what you generally want to design for, you can Zola on turn 6. You will replicate the Dakin, replicate the shards, and then of course Bullseye can feast on them while also, tripling up on the plays from the Dakin shards themselves, right? So a lot of value being generated from that Zola. I do like it a lot. And it's currently the highest win rate version of this list. Do not sleep on Meek. If you've been playing this deck, you know that Meek absolutely stomps. So Meek is a beauty. And that takes us to our number 1 deck of the week. And guys, if you're not subscribed yet, check to make sure that you're subscribed. I sincerely appreciate your support. And we go on to the number 1 deck of the week. And it should be no surprise, because I alluded to the fact that Scream is still one of the absolute top decks, and although we had the Uncle Sam version of the deck, the Uncle Ben version of the deck, we do have the regular Scream version still running a 65% win rate, 0.51 cube rate. This year is an absolute beauty. Now, the difference between that shell and this shell, of course, is this new iteration of it is running Nebula, it's running Ajax. You have this like negative style play, which is kind of interesting, because I think they're trying to rely on that Rocket Raccoon a little bit, which is kind of fascinating. And of course, as cards move, Scream is debuffing them, right? So you have the debuff potential of Rocket Raccoon, Scream is debuffing them themselves, and then all of a sudden you have the Ajax, which can be a fantastic closer. In fact, it looks like Ajax has higher power potential than something like a Magneto, which was often traditionally kind of like the closer of decks like this. So a very interesting look into like what this deck could look like, and a very fascinating little take on it. So I'm really excited to show this to you. I think it was pretty cool to see the Ajax being incorporated into the Scream decks. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Got another video for you on the screen if you're interested in watching some more Marvel Snap content, and we'll see you on that next one.